Hey, welcome to the Friday Funnies. You know, there's been a lot of news this week, so I combined the major stories to save time. Here it is. The presidential impeachment trial began this week, and Democrats accused Republicans of stealing signs from center field and banging on a trash can to announce Chinese New Year. There you go. And Chinese New Year is the year of the rat, which seems more than appropriate during an election year. Personally, I'm enjoying the Democratic debates, especially the last one that almost turned into a slap fight between Kid Sanders and Pow Wow Warren. I hope the final debate comes down to a cage match. 10 candidates enter, only one leaves. As far as my campaign is concerned, that's hashtag Dale for POTUS 2020, I decided to address this week the issue of Brexit. I don't know much about it, I don't give a rat's butt about it, and as a candidate for president, I'm not going to waste any valuable time worrying about it. And you won't find any of the other candidates making that sort of claim. Well, I've got a lot of other claims too, so remember to vote for me and the Toga Party. Together, our goals achieved, and it'll be a vote well made. And now, the news. The state of Utah wants their citizens to practice safe sex, so they were set to distribute 100,000 condoms free of charge. Now, the packages were kind of funky, though, because they featured different sites in Utah along with slogans reading, "Enjoy your mountain," or "Explore our caves," or SLUT, which stood for Salt Lake, Utah. I think it was great marketing. However, Gary Herbert, the governor of Utah, said he didn't approve of sexual innuendo as part of a taxpayer-funded campaign. Then somebody told the governor exactly what condoms are used for, and he gave the okay for distribution, but said the packages have to be changed. He decided on calling them Utah Wiener Warmers. Far more wholesome. A recent cold snap in Florida is causing iguanas to fall out of the trees. When the temperature dipped below 40 degrees, the iguanas went into a hibernation state and fell out of the tree, much like a drunk who falls asleep with his head on the bar and loses his balance and winds up on the floor. Anyhow, there are now iguanas all over the highway, fast asleep. Enter a man from Central America who now lives in Florida, and in his homeland, iguanas are considered a delicacy. So he just saw them laying all over the place, picked them up, and put them in his car, planning for one heck of a barbecue. So as he drove away with his car full of iguanas, the car started to warm up. And as it did, the iguanas started to awaken and started climbing all over the car and him, causing him to crash the car. So a word to the wise in Florida: avoid frozen iguanas. Stick to frozen margaritas. Snooker is a popular game in England. It's played on a giant, pool table thing, but without any pockets in it. The players take turn hitting the balls with precise accuracy. They require absolute quiet during a match. This week, in the midst of a major tournament in London, one of the players was lining up his shot when from the crowd came a huge fart noise. This caused the audience to break up into laughter. Apparently somebody out there armed with a whoopee cushion was the felonious farter, but this was not an isolated incident. Fart noises have been showing up at other snooker tournaments too. I guess that's what happens when you have such an action-packed game as snooker. Anyhow, the players in this week's tournament were not amused by the prank, but they each pulled each other's fingers and got back to the match. That's it for another week of the Funnies, my friends. Please pass these along to everybody that you know. Also, please listen to my podcast, AnotherDayAboveGround.com. That'll take you to the podcast page where you can follow us, because you're really going to like this podcast. And even if you don't, just follow us, because I'm trying to boost the numbers. There you have it. I will see you next week with more Friday Funnies.